Hi, and welcome to the first ever Impossibly Fun Creations DIY. Today we're going to talk about Plarn. Some of you might not know what Plarn is. So what Plarn is basically yarn made out of plastic bags, mainly grocery bags. You can see I made some with some Disney bags as well. In this video, I'll show you how to make Plarn, give you some ideas of how you can use it, and show you some of the items in the store that have been made with it. So the first step of Plarn, of course, is to get your bags that you've collected together. Of course, you want to make sure they're clean bags. You can use different types. You can see I have a bunch saved here, and I save all mine, and then I'll go through and make the Plarn all at once. So once you have your bag, you're going to go ahead and kind of get it back into its flat state that it was before it was used. So you just got to flatten out the handles a little bit, like so, and flatten the bag. Now that you have the bag flat, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to fold it. So I like to fold mine in half, and then half again. And then now it's time to start the cutting. So I'm gonna go ahead and just cut the handles off, because the whole purpose of this is us trying to make loops. So the handles you can't make a loop out of, so you're gonna cut that off, and you're gonna cut off this bottom part. But all of that's recyclable, so make sure to don't throw it in your garbage, put it in your recycling. Usually what I do when I'm doing a bunch of this is I'll get multiple bags to this stage, and I just have two here to show you so I can show you twice. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cut them about an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch, and you'll see the loops form. So go ahead and just cut, it's more of an inch. And depending on your bag, you might want different thickness. This Walmart bags I found are a little bit more stretchy and they're a little thinner, so I can go a little wider to have a more strong Plarn. I've also used Disney bags, and they tend to be a little bit thicker and not so stretchy, and so I will cut those a little bit thinner, not too much, but a little bit thinner, just to get a skinnier yarn. So that was one bag, and you can see we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of that one. And so it's anywhere from 10 to 11 depending on the size that you want. Sometimes too I'll use the lettering and when I'm doing a bunch of them and I know, okay, I want to cut it this wide up to the letters and such. And so you just go through and cut the plastic bags like so. So it's not much fun to watch, but you can see the process here. What I like to do personally is cut a bunch of these all at once and put them into either a plastic bag like this, something to store it in, or, and you can see I have a different, you can see these are all Walmart bags except for this little one that has a slightly different color, so I might do that as separate yarn. Or I'll just put them in a bin. So here I have a bin full of the cut up bags, and we can get starting on the process of making the Plarn. Okay, so we have our bags all cut, and what I like to do is I usually sit on the couch or sit in my craft room, and I just do a bunch of Plarn all at once. So I'm going to take a few of these cut loops and kind of show you what they look like. So when you cut it, you'll come up with a loop. Every once in a while I'll have a loop that isn't 100%. Like you can see sometimes they get a little raggedy, but they still work as Plarn. So I think, you know, that process is pretty good. But if you have one that breaks, sometimes I will knot it. Other times I will just put it in my recycle pile. So what we're going to do to join the two loops together, we're going to take one loop and pull it through and then through itself. Now I know it's a little bit hard the first time you're seeing it, so I'm going to do it again. Got another loop here. I'm going to go ahead and open up this loop that you're connecting to. Take your new loop, I'm going to pull it through, and then take the end of the loop, pull it back through, and you get that. And so there's a connection right here between the two. So when I first started doing this, I do that really tight. What I found is sometimes what would happen is it would become uneven as I'm crocheting and need to adjust it. And if it was too tight, it was hard to adjust it to make it straight. So I recommend doing it, but don't pull too hard. Also, you don't want to pull too hard and stretch your bag and make it a weak point. So I'll show you again. So this is our end that we're continuing the line on. You've got the loop here. You're going to take your new one, put it through the loop, open up the loop, and pull it through. It's a little like slip knot type thing. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to do a few here and time lapse it for you to see, and then I'm going to show you what the finished product looks like. Once you have the Plarn, you can notice that there's some differences. So this Plarn here is made from Walmart bags. You can see it's fairly thin and it's very stretchy. This here is made from Disney bags. And the great thing with the Disney bags is they're already recycled. So you got that going. You're using it even more. But they're thicker, and I have found that the 1 inch is a little bit thick and they don't stretch as much. So the projects you can use them in are a little different. You'll see some samples of what I mean from that in a minute. So keep in mind that your width, these were both cut the same width, but you can see how much thicker that one looks than this one. And I use them for different applications, and don't worry, I do have some other uses for my Disney bags, which you'll see later, and you can check out at the shop as well. So, what do I like to make with Plarn? I have this new love of crocheting. Years ago, my grandmother tried to teach me how to crochet, and the only thing I ended up with was a bunch of chains. I couldn't get past that step. I don't know why. Maybe just because I was a kid and I got bored. But I've retaught myself how to crochet, and am very excited to show you some of my creations that will be in the store. So I have decided to make our Pillow Mickey into a little coaster. This coaster is made from the Walmart bag. As you can see, it's crocheted. I took a pattern from online and modified a little bit to make it fit our Plarn. And then I attached a eco felt on the back, which is made from recycled plastic, and it gives it a nice soft surface. So I did that in the Walmart bags. Did that in Target bags. My husband says this kind of looks like peppermint. I guess so. It's a little nice red back. And then I also made the Disney bag ones. These ones I'm not gonna make anymore. The Plarn turned out really thick and it didn't really end up the way I had hoped, but I will have one set of these on the shop. I would say, as you can see, they're really thick compared to the other ones. I do think that the Target and the Walmart bags were so much easier for crocheting. But some other fun things you can use that for is basically any way you'd use yarn. You can make totes, you can make placemats, you name it. One of my favorite things that I've seen is that there's community organizations that collect the grocery bags, make Plarn out of it, and then knit or crochet sleeping mats for the homeless. And that allows them to sleep, not have to sleep on the ground. It's easy to wash because you can just rinse them off. Doesn't need a washing machine to get clean. And it's easy to roll up and take with them. And I think that's a great way you could use Plarn. And I hope that you had fun creating it with me and try to use it in some of your creations. And I hope to see you next week on Impossibly Fun Creations DIY Crafts. Don't forget what Walt said. It's kind of fun to do the impossible. Thanks.